does make sense to learn from the past mistakes. But it only makes sense to learn from established facts. Waste burning is one of the safest and simplest ways of dispensing with refuse in an economical, sanitary and environmental friendly manner. BRESSON, the makers of solid waste incinerating plants. Should waste be dumped or burned? Waste should be burned because dumps take up space. Waste gets wasted on a dump, it's better to burn it in the plant. I'd prefer incineration, an incinerating plant. Burning is better. Let's burn waste. Burning, of course. When it's burned to molecules. If you make a landfill and cover it with earth, it may explode in 50 years, or do something one wouldn't really expect it to make. Landfill waste is easy to handle, but this method has some setbacks. Most substances get biologically absorbed by synthetics, break down only partly, and take a long time to disintegrate. Ground and surface waters get contaminated, and so gets the atmosphere. Landfills take up much space, and there's the risk of infection, of transfer by insects and rodents onto the people. Plus, landfills are smelly and ugly. In July 2002, the joint stock company BRESSON AS took over the production programs of Čekád Edukla AS and Strojírny Kolín Fram. As a successor to Čekád Edukla, we've been supplying engineering goods for over 165 years. In the early 1970s, we developed a range of packaged transportable boilers and produced a boiler with a capacity up to 240 tons per hour. In the 1980s, we took up a more promising product, waste-burning boilers. We can design and build boilers with various specifications intended for various types of refuse.
Spalování odpadu je moderní způsob na využití nebo odstranění odpadu.
Waste burning is a modern method of using or removing refuse. It's just as costly to remove waste as to build a modern incinerating plant. When waste is burned, heat is released that can be used to generate electricity or supply it to the network. Waste is delivered to the plant, is weighed and dumped in a storage bin that can take up to around 6,000 tons of refuse. Bulky waste is dumped into a special gate with shears that cut it down to size. After homogenization, waste is grabbed by a crane, dumped into boiler hoppers and hydraulically fed into the rack of the boiler. Stoker-fired boilers have a burning capacity of up to 6 tons of waste per hour, and cylinder-grade boilers with slanting furnaces can burn up to 15 tons an hour. Waste is burned at 850 degrees Celsius. By burning 15 tons an hour, the boiler will produce about 36 tons of steam at a temperature of 230 degrees Celsius and pressure of 1.32 megapascals. The delivered waste gets burned down to about 10% of its original bulk. Heat reduces waste to harmless clinker and iron. Annual production of iron scrap amounts to some 5,000 tons, or about 3% of the weight of the refuse, and around 75,000 tons of clinker, which is about 25% of the weight of the incinerated waste. Solid residues, the clinker, are easy to store or use as building materials. Annual output of steam and heat supplied to public supply mains roughly equals 1.2 times 10 to the 6th power of gigajoules. Steam is distributed via pipelines. A 3-chamber electrical gas flue separator cleans combustion products to mandatory emission limits and a residual dust particle amount of 30 milligrams per 1 standard cubic meter. Clean flue gases are continuously checked on outlets by means of special probes installed inside the smokestack. The signal is fed via a computer to a control room that oversees the whole combustion process and the purification of the combustion products. The output data exceeds all required limits by a substantive margin. Burning waste is much more environmental friendly than dumping it. Building waste incinerating plants is a fairly easy job, as evidenced by the Vienna plant that fits snugly in the architecture of the Austrian capital. Plus, it is an architectural gem by itself. This goes to show that refuse incinerating plants may be built anywhere in terms of both refuse supply and the transfer of energy to the customer. The extreme longevity, reliability and friendliness to the environment, all this adds up to the superb net profits. BRESSON have a superb team of experts in engineering, production and sales matters. This gives good guarantee of the firm's ability to deliver orders in required volumes and quality. BRESSON is a general contractor in the field of modern refuse incinerating systems.